Hey guys, welcome out to the shop today. A while back I had acquired this saw vise and I have used it a couple times, but not really that many. One thing I've been really wanting to do is go ahead and restore it and get all the rust off of it, all the grime and everything else, and get it onto a good surface to where I can actually use this. The main things I have to look at is this area where I will be clamping it to something. This little swivel area right here for the tilt of your angle of your saw, so you can have it sitting straight up and down, or you can tilt it away from you. You cannot tilt it back towards you, but you can tilt it away. And then I want to watch this little lever over here as well, which opens and closes the saw. And that's how that works, by pinching the top, and then to release it you just have to pop that open and then squeeze the bottom and it opens up. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this kind of broken down of all the parts that I can, and then get some sandpaper and stuff like that to really clean this up and get it looking like new again, hopefully, or newer. Alright, so my arsenal for cleaning all of this stuff, I've got a couple different things. I've got some Scotch-Brite, some sandpaper, and some apple cider vinegar. I've also got a drill that's got this wire wheel on it, and I've got my bench grinder with a wire wheel. One thing that I'm finding out quickly is that there's a lot of different little meeting points, 90 degrees, 45, stuff like that, where it's very difficult to clean. I first thought about using the apple cider vinegar, and then when I went to go put it into my bin, it just doesn't sit right. I would have to fill up quite a bit of this to get it all to be underneath the vinegar, so I opted out of doing that. So my next option was going to be sandpaper, and I did a very little bit, and then I was like, wow, it's burning off a lot more metal than I really wanted it to. So I thought about the Scotch-Brite pad, and it didn't really do crap. I mean, it's rubbing on some of the rust, but as you can tell, it's not really taking anything off. With the sandpaper, it's taking it off, but I'm also finding that it's got a lot of the panning still left underneath. So I forgot that I had this wire wheel, and then I saw it sitting over on a shelf. I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and try that. This does a very good job. One thing that I'm finding out quickly is that I have to wear a glove, because with the drill it'll tend to catch, and then it really throws it off, and sometimes it'll throw it into your hand, and as you can see, it's worn away some of this material right here. So I've been using the wire wheel, and it's been cleaning up fairly well. I still got rust in here and on the back side and around this area. It's very difficult to clean this, a lot worse than, say, a hand saw. So with the base clamping area almost complete, I'm actually thinking that maybe I can use the sandpaper and just take it off, and a light coat of the metal, get a lot of the old Japanning off or whatever's on there, black paint, and because this is going to be really tough to get around this area, and using some sandpaper I'd be able to just, you know, just take it right off, and then come back with some black of that enamel spray paint and spray down the whole entire thing, and then it would really actually look brand new. Because I like the metal look of it like this, but then again it'll end up rusting unless I do something else with the coating, like a paste wax or something like that on there, and then it should be fine. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and try to keep on doing a wire wheel and see how well that does. And then, I mean, I can always do the sandpaper later, but the wire wheel is working great right now. See, even after using the wire wheel for a little bit, it's still showing I got rust all over here. That's the one thing that I don't like, is that it's still showing that there's rust on there, where I can use the sandpaper and probably clear it all up. So this is not working out like I planned to. I thought it was going to go a lot smoother than this. I ended up getting it fit into my bucket, and I'm going to pour the apple cider vinegar in there and maybe put a block underneath to kind of get everything underneath. As you can see, I've got it closed up fairly well, so I think that maybe if I can tip it, it will cover everything. So, or else I'll have to run to the store to go get more. Let's see how this does. Alright, so there's everything. And it's not covering like I wanted it to. Looks like I gotta go to the store and get some more. We're back from the store and they didn't have any apple cider vinegar. So I read online real quick and tried to see if we could mix the two. And apparently the only difference is how they are started out being made. So we're gonna try to mix them and hopefully we don't blow up. Still not high enough. So we're going to try to find another jar to put in there to kind of help displace the fluids. Ooh, we don't want to lose that. So we'll put in that mallet. We got that one in. We'll go find another little jar. So this is the point where we are at right now. We've got in the vinegar in there. We've got a bunch of bottles and jars in there trying to fill up the bucket so it'll make the water or the vinegar rise a little bit higher. I had this little point right here that kept sticking out of the water. So I eventually had to put my mini mallet underneath to kind of tilt all the vinegar this way. And you can see that the line is right here, right underneath the monkey head. Slowly but surely this is going to get done. I got to leave this in here for a couple hours, then take it out, get it scrubbed down, rinse it off good so that the acid stops getting into all the metal. And then hopefully we'll be able to move on to the next step. I went ahead and have finally pulled the saw vise out of the vinegar and got it all cleaned up. I took a wire brush and just scrubbed it, and then I rinsed it off underneath the water really good, made sure that all of the vinegar was off of there. And I've had it sitting out here uncoated with anything for a little bit now, just to make sure everything gets nice and dry. And it started forming a very, very thin coat of rust back on it, which will happen. I mean, you take off the layer of whatever was on there, all the where it was oxidized, and then you run water over the metal. So I mean, you're gonna redo all the rust. So what I've got right now is just some of the Scotch-Brite, and I'm just going to go over all of it real quick. This is just a very light coat of rust, so I can go over it really quickly with the Scotch-Brite, get all of the rust off of it, and then I've got a rag right here, and I will just wipe all of this stuff off, and then I will go ahead and put an actual, like a finishing coating on it. For a finish on this project, you can choose many different things. You could do just WD-40, you could do boiled linseed oil, all sorts of different kind of oils, and one thing that I have found is that with oils, it tends to leave the metal a little bit stickier. So what I'm going to be doing today is just simply using some paste wax and just coating it with a thin layer of the paste wax. And this seems to do fairly well. I use it on my hand saws and it works really good. Nothing rusts like they do without the protectant. So I'm just going to do a little bit of paste wax on these. I also want to try to keep the original paint too, so I didn't want to spray paint anything on here and give it that layer of coating. I really just wanted it to be left how it was, and that's why I'm choosing to do the paste wax. And here it is all put together. It's got that coat of paste wax on it. I didn't want to paint it like I said. There's no rust on it anymore. There is some silver metal on there, but it is coated by the paste wax. And here you can see this is the lever. You would just open that up, or you would close it and then pinch this closed, and it's ready for installing a saw. It's got the Made in the USA stamped on there. As you can see, there's no rust on it. And this is how it gets mounted to my bench. I use 2 of my holdfasts, and then I would just be able to undo the lever, push the bottom, and it opens up. And then when I'm ready to put a saw in, close it up, lift that lever, and it's ready to do some work sharpening some saws. So thanks for joining me today and watching this restoration using the vinegar. I tried a couple of different methods and they didn't really work out, so I ultimately went with the vinegar and it worked great. I had to go out and get a little bit extra vinegar right there near the end, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. And now I've got a saw vise that's ready for use, all restored, and I really like the look because it still looks used. It doesn't look brand new, but it's all protected and de-rusted. So this is a great turnout on my part, I believe. So I believe that this came out really nice with my expectations. I didn't want it to look new. So if you guys enjoyed it, you know, found the video helpful, give it that thumbs up and share it around on all the social media. And make sure that if you're not, you go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more woodworking videos. And I'll see you guys on the next video.